What's up, people? YouTube, this is here bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Vanguard. The beta is officially here, and I got to play it, and I got to experience the game in beta form and everything that it has to offer, at least to this extent. It's a little bit of my first impressions and kind of just an overall overview of how I'm feeling about the game, and I think I'm going to make a couple other videos kind of talking about some specific things in the game, but I just want to give you guys a general outlook on the positives and negatives of what I'm feeling at this very moment after giving it a good, I'll just say 5 to 6 hours of playtime. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys enjoy the videos that I do make, if you're a returning viewer, if you're not subscribed, whatever, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, help that algorithm for me, please. I would really appreciate it. I would like to try to get this video to, we'll start small because I'm inactive. Let's try to get this video to 5 likes. If we can do that, I'd be really happy. So when the alpha came out a week or two ago, I did play the alpha and I didn't make a video on it, mostly because I'm gonna be honest, I did not enjoy the alpha. But at the time, even with playing the alpha, I had a feeling that the full multiplayer experience was not going to be very similar to the alpha, because that's kind of how it was with Gunfight and Modern Warfare. You know, the Gunfight alpha came out first, everybody got to play that, and I enjoyed the Gunfight alpha, I really did, and maybe it was just because it was so new at the time that I enjoyed it so much. I didn't really enjoy Champion Hill really at all. The only thing I liked about it was the gunfights felt good, like the gun mechanics felt good, and the hit marker sounds are just so crispy, it's great. But aside from that, those maps, did not like it. The paper mache buildings, was not a fan. I didn't like the way the attachments were working. I just didn't like the way that things were going with the alpha, and I knew that the multiplayer was going to have a completely different set of mechanics. And I really was hoping that the maps would be a lot different, that they wouldn't all just be made out of paper to where I could get shot through everything, which thankfully they are. They are very different from the alpha. So I reserved my opinion from the alpha, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna hold this until the beta comes out. I'm gonna play the beta a little bit, and then I'll give my initial impressions, and I'll kind of compare it to Cold War, and I'll compare it to Modern Warfare, because those are all this is like the new generation of Call of Duty. So one of the first things that I noticed right off the rip was that the map design was good. I didn't hate it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I think it's the best map design ever, but I do like it compared to Modern Warfare. I felt like the maps encouraged movement. I felt like even though there is a mounting and a leaning system, whatever, it never felt like I was being forced to use it. It didn't feel like the maps were designed around that type of play, and I think that's a really good thing. I like the fact that the options are there to do it. And I don't think it's necessary in Call of Duty. I don't think it really adds much to the game, but I can tell that the option is there, but it doesn't ever feel like I'm supposed to use it. As compared to Modern Warfare, the whole time it felt like the game was trying to brainwash you into playing like a complete pussy, and all the maps were designed around that playstyle. Mounting on everything, sitting on top of head glitches, not moving, hearing enemy footsteps from 300 meters away. That felt like the entirety of Modern Warfare, and this map design it doesn't promote that type of playing, which I think is really good. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like if you are a camper, if you're one of those people who are not very good at a game, so you feel like you need to camp, it's okay. You can admit that to people. The comment section of this video should be a safe place for you. Maybe not, but if you're a camper, I feel like you can do that in this game. You can do it effectively. I feel like from the alpha to the beta, especially the beta, one thing that has been emphasized through my hours of playing is that I think this game is going to work well for everybody's play style, but I don't think it caters well to being a camper. I don't think that it also caters well to just running and gunning. I think that works better, but I think there's a nice medium to be had here. I think that this game is going to work very well for holding down locations and moving from one part of the map to the other and holding down another location and kind of switching it up, which in my opinion is very similar to how classic Call of Duty's played. Whether it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, those games all felt like that. They were fast-paced in a sense, but a lot of it was controlling regions of the map for map control. And the jetpack games, you didn't have a lot of that. The jetpack games, you had a lot of running and gunning and craziness. And then when you slow it down and you throw something like Modern Warfare 2019 at us, or even Black Ops Cold War, I think Black Ops Cold War was a lot better in a lot of ways than Modern Warfare, but worse in others. You're going to have this hodgepodge mix of players that are conflicted. You know, old school players, people who are just trash at the game, and then people who are used to jetpacks. Like, it's very hard to strike that balance. And I think just off of the beta alone, Vanguard is the closest out of the newer games that I have seen that's able to do that. Now, we'll see when the new game, when the full game comes out and we get all the maps and everything, we'll see how that works and how it plays. But right now, footstep audio is great, and I think that I think that's really important. Footstep audio is great. It doesn't sound like, you can't not hear them. They are a little quiet, but I would rather them be quiet than obnoxiously loud. So I guess maybe I shouldn't say footstep audio is great. Footstep audio is where I would want it to be. Footstep audio is where somebody who runs around the map would want it to be, and not where somebody who likes to sit in one location for the entirety of the match wants it to be. So that's kind of where I stand with the maps. That's kind of where I stand with the beta itself. Again, going back to gunplay, which I mentioned earlier from the alpha, the gunplay I think feels good. I think in some instances there's a lot of situations where the muzzle flash, all the particles from the destructive environments it makes it so hard to see the enemy when you're in a gunfight. And I mean, even from like 15 feet away, everything flying in between can cause a lot of issues, and I don't think that's necessarily good for a multiplayer experience. But I don't find myself in those situations a lot. It's mostly just on indoor areas. Hotel Royal, that map in specific, inside, it tends to happen quite a bit. But everything else, I don't really see that issue. One thing that I will say is I think that this game is going to shine when it comes to that combat pacing. Me personally, I like to grind the camos, so I'm going to be out there playing a lot of the blitz combat pacing. I want a lot of players. I want crazy, chaotic stuff happening constantly, and that's going to kind of be what I strive for. So I want all these maps to feel like Shipment, to be honest. I want to spawn, I want to run 5 feet, and I want to see enemies. That's just how I prefer to play. Over the years, I've seen that. I just want to get right into the action. Some people are going to want to play traditional 6v6. Some people are going to want to play hardcore, and that is perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. I do want to let you know ahead of time, though, the maps that we have in the beta, I can tell are not designed specifically for 6v6. Red Star, I think that's the name of the giant snow map. That map does not play well with 6v6 at all. The most kills you're going to get in a single game is like 20. It's pretty rough for 6v6. And then the tropical island beachy map with the ship and everything, I can't remember what it's called, Gavatu or something. That map also does not play super well for 6v6, but it's not horrible. It's definitely better than Red Star. Those maps feel like they're made specifically for Blitz. So I'm really hoping that there will be a decent amount of other maps that come with the game that are better equipped for 6v6. I think Hotel Royal works way better for 6v6. And that's pretty much the only complaints that I have when it comes to the combat pacing. But I don't really know how you could possibly design a map to work super well for 6v6, super well for 10v10, super well for 24v24. I don't think that's really possible. So the fact that they have it the way that they do, and it's not, I'm just gonna throw it out there. The fact that they don't play like Modern Warfare maps is a heaven sent. After playing Modern Warfare, I have a whole new category of what bad maps are, in my opinion. I only played Shoot House and Shipment. As soon as those were released in Modern Warfare, I never touched the regular maps ever again. I played a little bit of Rust when that playlist existed, but that's it. So I have a whole new section in my brain of what makes a Call of Duty map bad, and those maps in Modern Warfare were by far the worst maps ever. I'm not even kidding when I tell you guys this. I took a break from Modern Warfare during its life cycle, so that way I could go play Call of Duty Ghosts to see if those maps were worse, because prior to Modern Warfare, I held Call of Duty Ghosts at having the worst maps ever made. Modern Warfare blows Ghosts out the water when it comes to bad maps. I even played on that one DLC map where the building was falling over and you're playing like inside of a skyscraper. That map is not good. Still way better than anything that Modern Warfare has to offer. So like I was saying, my standards might be low if you compare it to the overall franchise, but I'm directly comparing it to how miserable of a time I had with Modern Warfare 2019. That's pretty much where I'm going to end the map talk. One other issue that I had with the beta, I just want to kind of clarify the problems, and I'll touch on the good stuff here at the end. But one other issue that I had with the beta is visibility is rough, especially on Red Star. If I'm outside and I'm shooting into a building, people sit in the darkness and just shoot out of those buildings. You can't see a dang thing. You can't see anything. If they're shooting at me, I'm just shooting into darkness, hoping that I'm hitting them, shooting roughly where their bullets are coming from. So, and any sort of a distance too, because it's a blizzard, I don't like that weather effect. Snow is fine, a light snow is fine, but why does it gotta be a blizzard? Like, come on. Like, we learned that in Modern Warfare 3 with that one, I can't remember the name of that map, but nobody liked that map because it was a blizzard constantly. So, weather effects are cool, but I think they need to be dialed back a little bit or adjusted to certain maps having them, because the rainy Gavantau map or whatever, that map doesn't bother me at all. I think the weather effects on there are fine. As a matter of fact, it's pretty cool. But the blizzardy stuff that makes it hard to see people, not a fan of that. So, more positives that I want to kind of touch on before I end the video here. I think that the inclusion of 10 attachments is a good thing. More customization is better. Will it be hard to balance? Absolutely, but I'm here for it. I think 10 attachments is a great idea. A little bit ridiculous, it looks crazy, but it's fun, and that's what matters most to me. So, don't got much else to say on that in this video. 10 attachments is a positive, in my opinion. I do like the gun selection, and so far, I have noticed that there isn't a gun that I think is horrible. Well, there is one gun that I think is horrible, but all the guns feel usable and they feel different from one another, which I think is a great thing. I think that the STG-44 is going to become like the M4A1 of this game. It feels the most down the middle balanced assault rifle. Depending on how many guns come at launch, we might see more assault rifle type weapons that might compete for that role, but right now it feels like the STG-44 is just like the standard. The bar is actually good. I didn't like it in the alpha, but I like it a lot more in the beta. All of the SMGs are great. I like all of them. It's hard to pick out which one shines the most. I think the MP40 is probably the best, but the Tommy gun, the Sten, those are both really, really good guns. The sniper rifles are fun to use, even though I'm not great with them. I didn't really touch the LMGs very much, but I only ever use those to get camos done. The pistols feel good. The 1911 feels good. I can't remember what it's called, that machine pistol that you get, it feels okay, but it needs attachments. That's really the only complaint I have about that. The worst gun in the game by far right now, in my opinion, is the M1 Garand, which is a shame because I really looked forward to using that weapon. But the M1 Garand is absolute garbage. If you're thinking about using it, don't. I promise you, it's not worth it. But that is pretty much everything I have to say about my first impressions of the beta. Overall, I think the beta is fun. I think that Vanguard is looking like it's going to be a good year for Call of Duty. None of this comes across as being super broken. Spawns need a little bit of work, but I feel like that's normal every time there's a beta. Visibility needs work. Map design is okay. It's not horrible. It's not great. The gun mechanics and gunplay is fun. So as long as the core game releases and it feels like there's enough content to work towards, camos, calling cards, character upgrades, of course, you know, they're gonna have battle passes and stuff like that, and the multiplayer is an enjoyable enough experience, I'm here for it. I really am. I enjoyed my time playing the beta, and I'm probably gonna play it some more later today. So if you guys are questioning whether or not you want to get the game, I think that it is worth it at this point. Nothing comes across as being broken and awful. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, again, please hit the like button, please subscribe for more content, and deuces.